What's up YouTube, Papa Snorlax here. So we have the results for the Blue-Purple Destiny Barbados deck, and drum roll. I came in second at locals this week. The deck I ended up losing to for first place was Blue-Green 1 Year War. But before we get into all the matchups, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on future Gundam roulettes, deck profiles, and other Gundam TCG content. Alright, now let's go over the different decks I played against, starting with Green-White Wing Gundam. This was a pretty solid matchup overall. I was able to keep pressure throughout the game, and for the most part we stayed pretty even. They were able to drop Wing 0 and clear my board, but near the end of the game, I managed to link with Destiny Gundam, use high maneuver to retake control of the field, bring Blast Impulse back onto my board, and drop another 2 units. That swing ended up setting me up to win on the following turn. Next, I played up against the Red-White Providence Justice build. This matchup felt heavily in my favor. Even though they were able to remove my units, I was consistently able to bring new ones in and recover pieces from the trash with Impulse Gundam. Because of that, I was able to keep momentum and stay ahead for most of the game. The third matchup was definitely the longest one of the day. I played against Blue-White, the O, and we ended up going all the way around to turn 12 or 13. At that point, both of us are starting to run low on resources. Luckily for me, I did not see a single the O during that match, which definitely worked in my favor. I was eventually able to close out the game with Destiny Gundam. Now for the final matchup against the deck that took first place, Blue-Green 1 Year War. This was actually a really good game. I ended up drawing back-to-backs of the Lotes and played 3 of them in a row at the start of the match. We were trading shields pretty evenly for a while, but they were able to keep a constant pressure on me. Once they linked it to Zeon with Char, they were able to close out the game and take the win. Overall, I thought this deck was really fun and performed pretty well. That being said, I am almost considering taking the Barbados package out and focusing more on the Grandpa Gundams and Impulse packages for this build. Barbados did help in a few situations, but I just did not see it enough and it did not feel as impactful here as it has in some other decks I have played. I'll be putting together an updated list based on what I learned today, but honestly the deck still ran really well. I'm glad I made those last minute changes before locals because they definitely helped the deck feel smoother. Now that we've covered how last week's deck performed, let's dive into what you all really want to see. Gundam Roulette! Alright, who's ready? Alright, this week I'm going to be running Red-Blue. Let's go. Alright, so this week I'll be running Blue-Red. I tested out a few different builds and I ended up settling on today's version, which I'm calling Red-Blue Grandpa Fred. Let's dive in. Alright, with this deck I wanted to play something similar to 1 Year War. The main focus is early game pressure, low cost units, and some ping damage to help whittle down the opponent before they can fully establish the board. So starting off, with my turn 2 1-cost units, I'm running 4 gun tanks to get some early ping damage going, followed by 4 Zaku Mariners and 4 Gelgoogs as our basic 2 bodies. Then for turn 3, I'm running 4 Roselle as early game bruisers that can help keep pressure on the board. Turn 4 is where the deck really starts picking up. First we have 4 Anshas, which adds even more ping alongside gun tank. Then I'm running 4 G-Fred, which can link with Nian and potentially burst to create a token if we've got the opponent low enough. And of course, we're running everyone's favorite old man, Grandpa Gundam, at 4 copies. To round out the units, I'm running 3 of the level 6 G-Fred for some late game ping, and then 2 of the level 8 boss G-Quux to help close out the game if it gets that far. For pilots, I'm running 4 Nian for the 7 total copies of G-Fred and the 2 G-Quux, and then 4 Amuros for the Grandpa Gundams, while also giving us the ability to rest opposing bodies. Getting into the commands, I'm running 4 close combat to help pick off anything that gets in the way, especially when combined with our ping effects. I'm also running 3 Show of Resolve to help keep resources flowing and make sure we can keep our hands steady throughout the game. Last but not least, I'm running 2 Corsica base to help create an extra body and give us a little more board presence. Overall, this build is all about staying aggressive early, using ping damage to control the board, and then finishing things off with G-Fred, Grandpa Gundam, or G-Quux if the game goes long. Well, that concludes this week's Gundam Roulette. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm Papa Snorlax, and I'll see you next time.